Speed Season 12 Race 13 here on Las Vegas track in Contest of Speed. My name is Red Panda Pigeon Slayer, also known as Kaganis. Sadly, I'm alone today. Before we jump into the track, let's quickly check the standings. Vaporizer is leading with 162 points. Second place, PW Jones with 104. On third place, Tom with 100. Fourth, Hako with 88. Bryson with 60 on fifth. Sixth is AJ with 50 points. Poasia with 48 points on P7. Maxim Ajax 41 points P8. Tensi Jack 39 points P9. And Gokai completes the top 10 with 32 points. Let's quickly jump to the team standings. And what do we have here? So, battle for Constructors Championship is really going to be really interesting. Alpine leading with 217, 1 point behind the Williams. AlphaTauri with 178. McLaren is chasing them with 174. On P5, Haas with 113. P6 is Red Bull with 90. Mercedes P7 with 85. Ferrari 71. And Aston Martin and Alfa Romeo both with 27 points. Let's quickly jump into the track. I see the weather forecast is good. It's a bit rainy. Apology, I have some sound issue. But why I don't get sound? It was over here like 10 seconds ago. Okay, it's fixed. So who's first on track? It looks like it's Hako. A really steady lap. It's not easy to keep your tires warm because of three long straights on this track, and your tires are going to be cold really quickly. So as we can see, Hako is pulling his brake pedal up just a bit to keep his tires warm. Already in final sector, last braking point of the lap. Tight chicane, and he is starting to deploying, so really early, beginning of the hot lap. And here we go. Nice and smooth through turn 1, heading to turn 2. DRS wide. I think it was a bit of contact with the barrier on the outside. DRS wide open, braking from 342 kilometers per hour to most technical section of the track at the end of sector 1. We have yellow flags in sector 3, but I believe it's only drivers preparing their laps. Hako is finishing sector 1, 44.4 as the benchmark of first sector. Through the second heavy braking zone, now through the main and most famous street of Vegas. 2 kilometers straight run, mostly with DRS wide open. 353, 354 kilometers per hour, 356 even I was seen for a moment, and braking to 110. Smooth through the chicanes and heading to the finish line. It's going to be 31, I believe. even 32, 32.6. That's the benchmark set by Hako. I'm going to directly jump to Kepsi. Meanwhile, Boria 4 tenths slower than Hako. What will Kepsi show? Is on the final part of the track. And he's abandoning his lap. Fierce snipes. Apologies for coughing. And I believe not Tom Carter is pulling away a bit with split stream. So Haas driver made 32.8, McLaren with 34.1. And quite steady on track. Tom now is leaving for his outlap. Quite dominant race last week for the Williams driver. Directly behind him we can see Mercedes of Don Anno on the outlap. So we're still waiting for Bryson, Mati, Kepsi, Vaporizer and Gokai to start their attempts. Meanwhile, apologies, I didn't notice that PW Jones set it a new provisional pole with 31.961. So beating Hako almost exactly 3 tenths of the second. And he also set a new fastest lap on the track with 358 kilometers per hour. That's insane. Couple of statistics for the quali: 24 chance for rain, but no rain expected. Air temperature is 8 Celsius degrees and track temp is 16. So not easy conditions for those drivers. But now Tom is on the final straight, heading to last corner and to starting his lap. Battery is already deploying and he is starting his lap. And there was a contact on the exit of turn 1 with the wall. Tom lost his front wing, so the lap will be abandoned. Let's head into Donano. Then Donano is not deploying battery, surprisingly. Maybe he had a little bit of snap somewhere in turn 1 or 2. Or he's just saving for the final part of the track. I don't know. But it looks like Don Anno is not going to start deploying his battery. Let's see after exit of this turn. And no, he's still not deploying. He's causing yellow flag right now. So let's jump into Kepsi in Red Bull. He is definitely deploying his battery, so this will be a valid lap. A little bit of traffic because of Alpine of Boria in front of him on outlap. But Alpine is getting out of the way. Purple sector 1 for Kepsi. Happy braking. Now 2 kilometers run through the, I believe, one of the longest, if not the longest straight in Formula 1. Also, top speed I've noticed is was 356 kilometers per hour. Really nice and tight through the chicane. Wide exit. Final run, and this might be a pole. No, it's not. It's 32019. P2 with just a minor loss to PW Jones. Boria is another one who was on the outlap, but he abandoned this one. Fierce snipes on the outlap, and it's invalidated. Price in, and Gokai is the first one of those pack to start the lap. So let's stick with Red Bull driver. Actually, let's jump into onboard with him. He's grabbing a little bit of curb on the inside of turn 1. Gentle through turn 2. Gears wide open. It's also really, maybe it doesn't look like, but it's also really long straight. A little bit of curb in turn 3. Heading to the most trickiest section of the track. A little bit of lock up on the braking. And now S-shaped S straight, I call it, because you're going here full throttle, braking with over 300 kilometers per hour, really close to the wall on the exit. 2 kilometers straight run, DRS wide open. He looks like he's a bit slower than other drivers we've seen. 351, so maybe a bit higher downforce compared to the rest of the grid. But it's still going to be a really fancy lap time. 31, 32, 1. Just 24 milliseconds in front of Hackel in Haas, who was on the hot lap, but he invalidated. Dunano directly behind him, but he is heading straight to the pit lane. So let's see what Bryson will be able to do. We're still waiting for the Maturabo and Vaporizer to make their attempts. A little bit of counter steer. Turn chicane. Actually, I didn't notice that before, but it looks like Bryson is driving with the same car number as I do. 32.8, that's P9 for this moment. For sure we won't see one driver, Ricky, because he decided to retire before he gets onto the track. Hacker is pushing, but it's really low amount of battery, and I won't believe he'll be able to make this lap competitive. Apologies of that urgent phone call. So now who is first? Fierce or Kepsi? I believe it's Kepsi who is further on the track. on the outlap. So Vaporizer still in pit lane. Is he preparing a bomb? Or do he has Fierce Snipes retired from the session? Oh, he crashed in Sector 1. Let me quickly check. The penalties I don't see any. So we have Mati Robo on the outlap. Kepsi is weaving a bit to heat up his tires. And that's going to be a final run for the Red Bull driver. Mati Robo will get one-shot quali. Now the lap is started and a little bit of traffic on the pit exit. Clear pass on the Mercedes. Now PW Jones in front of him. He is also getting out of the way. To get sure his opponent will get a clean lap. This time without lockup on braking to turn 4, or maybe actually it's turn 5. I have to admit that I was kept 3 milliseconds loss on his first sector delta. That's what I wanted to say. I have to admit, and Vaporizer retired from the session. So championship leader is going to start from P12, I believe. Caps is still a bit lost after sector 2. Maybe he's able to improve in sector 3 now without touching curb on the inside on last braking point. Final meters of the lap. It's 31.936 and it's provisional pole, just minor in front of PW Jones, who is going to start his hot lap right now. But let's jump into Mati Robo, who is on his outlap. One-shot quali for Mercedes driver. Just wide open. On this final run, a little bit of traffic in front of him. I'm worried that Haas in front of him might be reason to not to invalidating this lap. Oh, a little bit of curb, but it looks like Mati wasn't deploying, so he is taking double out lap. So we can back to PW Jones, who is leading the pack. 20 seconds till end of the session. PW Jones, new purple sector 1, 1700th of a second improvement on his previous attempt. Red Bull of Kepsi is causing yellow flags in sector 1 and 2. PW Jones still with new purple sector 1. Donano retiring from the session. I believe it was retire on track. Yes, it was. And PW Jones, final meters of the lap, 31.850. So who's next? Gukai. Directly behind him, I believe it's Bryson Hako with 31.75. Now Gukai behind him, I believe it's Bryson, who gets split-stream advantage, and split-stream advantage on this track is huge. Gukai 1/10 in front. Bryson improving as well. Kepsi is not on a hot lap. Mati Robo 32.7 P10. Boria improving and knocking Bryce into P7, making himself to P6 with 32.386. So I believe that's quali over. We have Gyokai on P1, Hako P2, PW Jones, Kepsi, not Tom Carter, Boria, Bryson, Donano, Tom and Mati Robo completing the top 10. P11 is Fierce Snipes, and P12 and 13 is Vaporizer and Ricky. Both didn't set a lap time. One hundredth of the second between P1 and P2. Then another 1/10 loss for PW Jones, and Kepsi is P4 with less than 2/10 loss to P1. Tom with 3/10 loss, then Boria with over 6, Bryson with over 9/10, really close to him, John Anno and Tom. Matirabo as well, First Snipes almost 2.5 second loss. That's interesting qualifying session, especially that for another time we might see interesting battle between Tom and Vaporizer. They were dominating last races, and now they are starting from basically back of the grid. Sky is clear. Let me quickly switch the tabs to see potential uh, track invalidations and stuff like this. So the formation lap will be off because of lobby breaking back that wouldn't let us to start a lap. So we are going straight away and lights out and away we go. Good start from Goke. Hako is also going to keep his position and he is going to the inside on turn 1, and Hako is on the lead after start. Looks like it was clean pull away. Vaporizer already. So Vaporizer was starting P14 and he is already in front of Ricky. Not Tam and Bryson overtaking Boria, and Bryson overtaking Haas driver as well. Oh, too wide. Tom and Donano on braking zone to turn 5. It's not the best idea for this track. So I believe we might quickly check the tire situation. So Hako P1, Kepsi P3, PW Jones P4, Bryson P5, Boria P7, then Anno and Mati Robo on P10, Fierce Snipes and Ricky with mediums. Gokai meanwhile overtaking Hako, and Gokai, not Tom Carter on P6, Tom on P8, and Vaporizer on P10, who's fighting with Mati Robo for position on hard compound, and there is a spun, and both Red Bulls are damaged. Gokai with 5-second penalty for collision with Bryson. A lot of damage. Ricky without front wing. Bryson and Boria with major front wing damage. And Kepsi without front wing. That's heartbreaker for Red Bull fans. Bryson. Oh, and Ricky with 5 seconds penalty for speeding in pit lane, and he immediately retired in pit lane. Kepsi, Boria, Bryson, Matthew Rebo, Fish Snipes, and Gokai in pit lane for a front wing change. And Tom and Vaporizer already on P5 and P6. Hako is leading the pack in front of PW Jones. Donano behind them, not Tom Carter. And Gokai, another penalty, this time drive-through penalty for speeding under virtual safety car. Right at the end of virtual neutralization. If we won't see a full safety car, the race for Red Bull driver is over. So for now we have tier restraint from P1 to P6. Nunano was showing up to PW Jones. Hey, I'm here. Look at the mirrors. Don't forget about me. I'm going for you. But PW Jones is closing really fast to Hako. It might be attempt of overtake onto turn 1. But PW Jones had to be... And there's a contact between Donano and PW Jones. First snipes with 3-second penalties for track limits. That escalated quickly. And Donano with PW Jones. I don't see any damage on those cars. But they are, for now, out of the battle for potential race win. I'm saying potential because Tom is already on P2 and Vaporizer is chasing Haas for P3 and the move is done. Haas is trying to counterfight, but he had no response for McLaren driver move. He's still really close, and Tom is making a move. And it looks like, yes, the move is done, so we have new race leader. After less than 3 laps, Tom is leading the race. And Vaporizer already less than 3/10 behind. Hako. Vaporizer with current fastest lap, 35.707. But he still didn't find a way to pass Haas driver, and Haas was attempting in turn 1 to make a counter move on Tom. Meanwhile, Tom Carter is making a move on trying to go to the inside on Vaporizer, and looks like the move is done. Hako retook his race lead. Vaporizer is counter-fighting, and he is back on P3. Gokai with new fastest lap of the race, 34.871. PW Jones is losing the pace to leading 4. I don't know why I kept that. And now Gokai. Oh, free wide on the straight. Vaporizer is leading. Tom is on P2. Hako P3. Tom tried to make a move on Vaporizer, but he failed, and Vaporizer is... It looks like he's pulling away a bit from them. But Kepsi overtaking Boria for P7, but for sure he knows that he needs to pull away way more because of that penalty he has. Matthew Robo overtaking First Snipes for last point position. And Tom already have a second. First Snipes is retiring, and it's a full safety car. Full safety car, ladies and gentlemen. So we have two, potentially three long laps to go. Bryson in pit lane is going to switch, I believe, to set of fresh mediums. I don't see any damage on his car. Boria with really minor damage on front wing, 1%. So he should be easily able to carry on. And now Gyoka is in really hard position because he still got this drive-through penalty. So it's for sure a free position from AlphaTauri driver on P11. Kepsi. Kepsi on P7 with drive-through for speeding under the safety car. So both Red Bulls with drive-through penalties. That's really heartbreaking for team fans. So Vaporizer is heading to the pit lane. Tom and Haka as well. Not Tom Carter too. Vaporizer on fresh mediums. Tom switching hard for fresh mediums. Hako is switched for fresh hard compound. What about Boria? Boria didn't decide to go to the pit lane. Tom Carter for fresh mediums. PW Jones fresh hards. Donano with fresh hearts. Kepsi. What does Kepsi did? Fresh medium tires. Mati Robo. Show me your sexy. Oh, it's Gyokai with mediums. How about Mati Robo? Mati Robo is going through the pit lane, getting overtaken by Bryson. It was close. No, Bryson is giving up this position. And Mati is on fresh medium compound. So first safety car of the race. I obviously don't do not doubt for those drivers' skill. Good evening, Jimmy. Why are you not on the track? Instead of playing Football Manager, you should be on track supporting your teammate. Let's quickly look how the penalty situation looks, but I believe only penalties we have it's drive-throughs. Interesting thing that I do see free warnings on Don Anno. Apologies, a little bit of brain lag. Gokai is heading to the pit lane. He's switching for the hard compound. I'm actually interested, is that a used compound? No, it's fresh one. One lap on those compounds. And technically, he should be able to complete the race on this compound. A little bit harder task for medium runners, especially for Boria, who is on 5-lap old medium tires. He will have to pit at least once more for sure. So I believe safety car will be in at the end of this lap. We'll get confirmation in about 1.5 kilometer. For Americans, it's about 950 miles, I believe. No, wait, 0.95 mile. Way, 950 miles will be way too much. Tom, a bit far from vaporizer. And yes, we have confirmation safety car will be in this lap. So McLaren in front, setting the pace for the restart. I hope we will get a clean one. And I believe for sure Gukai should go and serve his drive-through right now. Vaporizer is pulled away. Yes, we can see Gukai is going to serve his drive-through penalty. So he is the one who is hoping for another safety car. Not Tom losing position for Boria. He's trying to fight back side to side on straight and onto the braking point to turn free. Haas on the inside and it's moved down. So Haas is back on P3-4. But is already out of DRS on leading free. Also Tom. Tom is losing a second to McLaren in front of him. Hacker also 1 second loss to Williams. So top three is starting to spread out. So now it's all about tire management. And for now I can say Hako out of leading three is the best tire saver we have on the track. Tom is closing gap a little bit, but now on poor exit I believe from final chicane and he lost half a second. He's gaining on the braking points, kept it into the pit lane to serve his drive-through. That's getting Matthew Robo and Bryson 3 positions. Bryson is driving faster than Mercedes driver. Just to be clear, it's just an energy drink. But it's so cold in Miami. So now we have DRS train all the way down from P4 to P7. PW Jones and Boria fighting for P5. PW Jones makes the move down and he is chasing Haas in front of him. This looks like a bit worse exit than driver in front, but he's gaining a lot on the straight. DRS it's not active and Williams driver gained half a second on Haas in front of him. A bit loss on the braking zone. DRS will be active right now. Donano is overtaking Boria, so Alpine driver is struggling a bit. He lost 2 positions within less than 1 lap. Meanwhile, Vaporizer is pulling away from Tom. It's over 2 seconds already. Hako almost 2.5 behind. Tom Carter is trying to catch up onto DRS behind his teammate. PW Jones with DRS closing up to Haas. Donano close as well. Boria still in DRS behind them. And Bryson and Machirobo also with DRS range, so train was extended, and Haas, it looks like he has a chance. And also Tom had to made a mistake because he lost 2 seconds to Vaporizer and minor front wing damage I see, so there was a little bit of snap with the wall, and Hackle is closing up really fast. It was 2.5 on start of this lap, and now he is making a move on the Williams driver, getting P2. Tom Carter also overtaking Williams. He was trying to make a move on his teammate, but he stepped away. So now what Tom will do? Will he stay on track or decide to jump in to switch his front wing for a new one? He is staying out, and it looks like Hako was able to close a bit of this gap to Vaporizer. Tom is sticking really close to Haas of not Tom Carter on P3, but both got DRS, so nothing should happen. Really close to contact between of them. Haas was on the inside. Williams was attempting move on the outside. Bryson lost DRS on the Nano, so we have DRS train from P2 all the way down to P6, and another one from P7 to P9, but Bryson is closing up. He is fighting for that DRS, and Boria might lose DRS. Let's see on the gap, on detection zone. He will have DRS. PW Jones really close to his teammate. Will he be able to make a move? He's closing that gap a bit. Tom Carter to the inside and making a move for P2 on Hako. Nothing changed between Williams drivers. Bryson lost a bit on breaking point, but mega launch and mega exit from chicane, and he is closing up. Hako is taking back P2. Tom is on P3 again, and he will be attempting to attack Tom on breaking point to turn 3. Yellow flag, it's Cap C, I believe. I don't see any damage. So probably just a little bit of spin on turn 1. And Vaporizer is pulling away. He's pulling away really fast. It's already over 7 seconds. And guys, fighting really hard behind him is helping him a lot. Apologies for coughing. Still didn't fully recovered. Matirobo out of the rest, and now it's Gyokai who is struggling a bit. Also, don't see any visible damage. Tom is fighting with Nathan Carter and Hako. Hako losing 2 positions on the main straight, or back straight, or whatever we can call. But now Nathan Carter is overtaking Tom for P2. Tom is still trying to fight back, a little bit wide, close with Hako. There was, I believe, a minor contact between of them, but Tom was able to keep his position. Boria into the pit lane. What is going on with Alpine driver? Oh, I believe just a strategy pit stop for fresh compound. He is taking fresh medium compound. And it looks like Haas of not Tom Carter is able to pull away a bit from Tom, but now over um, or maybe over 1.5 kilometer DRS straight. Tom is losing position to Hako. Hako is chasing his teammate, and look how fast that gap is melting. Tom is trying to fight back on Hako. He's going to the inside, side by side. Hako a bit wider to get all space that Williams driver needed. Just to be sure that will be no incident over there, because it would be probably terrible for both of these drivers. And in background, Hako is overtaking Tom, and in background we've seen Bryson was attempting to make a move on Donano. Look, oh, a little bit of snap, and it's Tom spinning around. Bryson to P. Bryson 5-second penalty for collision with Donano. We see Donano without front wing. Tom Carr looks okay. PW Jones without front wing. Kepsi is overtaking Bryson. Boria is overtaking Bryson. I believe he won't have a front wing as well. No, just end plate missing. But it's major front wing damage. And Bryson with 10-second penalty for corner cutting. To be honest, I do believe that he is going to retire, because he was just a victim of Don Anno wasn't cautious and hits PW Jones. Hako meanwhile swapping positions with his teammate for P2. Matti Robo is safe with a threat on Tom. Tom is heading to the pit lane. Don Anno is heading to the pit lane. What about PW Jones? PW Jones heading to the pit lane. So Williams might be double stacked, especially if, and Bryson with another 3 seconds for track limits. And yes, Tom is going to get a new front wing, so PW Jones will be double stacked. He will be waiting for eternity, I believe. Kepsi already after his stop. Bryson, I decided to stop. That's a bit brave decision, especially that he has quite severe damage on his front wing. He will be really struggling, especially on sector 2 with super fast S's. And Haas is still fighting for P2. Tom is chasing Gokai Bryson with another 10 seconds for corner cutting. 23 seconds accumulated for the AlphaTauri driver. If he keep going like that, he will be disqualified. And Tom, a little bit of contact on the back of Gokai. Car Bryson with another 3 seconds. He is struggling a lot with that wing damage. Gokai is losing position to Tom and to Don Anno. So 2 positions on the one straight, but hard to expect something else after over 1.5 kilometer DRS zone. And Tom! What happened to Tom? He just turned and pulled straight away on the final braking, and that was dangerous. Back on the track. I believe there was a little bit of contact with Kepsi. Yes, Tom is heading to the pit lane. Bryson 5 seconds penalty for speeding in pit lane, and he decided to retire in pit lane, so as Tom did. Meanwhile, Hako and Tom Carter are fighting for P2, but it's a really great result for Haas team. Vaporizer is pulling away more and more from them. It's almost 14 seconds at this point. I do agree that staying out was brave, but I was also pretty sure that he is going to retire. And he did one lap after we both expected. Tom Carter is boxing, so I believe the softs will be on play. And surprisingly, it's medium compound. Mr. Tom Carter, what were you thinking about? 8 or 9 laps is really enough for softs on this track at this weight and load of fuel. So now, how far he is behind his teammate? Around 16 seconds. So pit lane don't have that big loss. It's really short one. So where is the closest fight? Where is the closest fight? So I believe it's this one for P4 between Boria and Tom Carter, but Tom Carter will be struggling on start of the stint with a bit cold tires. And the second one is here, this one for P8 between PW Jones and Kepsi, and Williams driver is closing up to Red Bull, and it looks like he will get a DRS and split stream on this straight is really, really powerful. But Kepsi is saved by his teammate, who will lose, I believe, 2 positions. Okay, was really far on the front, and now surprisingly he dropped to P9. Warriors still pulling away from Haas of not Tom Carter. And Gokai is already out of DRS on Kepsi and PW Jones in front of him. PW Jones is closing up really fast. Turn 2, a little bit of tricky one. You cannot go too early on throttle over there because you might lose your rear of the car. PW Jones is waiting for his chance, not deciding to for a brave move into this turn 3. The most technical section of the track. And now Williams is positioning to get as close as he can at the braking point and at the exit of this turn. It looks like he did better exit than Kelsey in front of him, and it have to be easy position gain for Williams driver. Look, already PW Jones is in front of Red Bull. It was 7/10 gain on single straight. That's insane. Meanwhile, Nathan Carter catched up to Boria, and he is trying to make a move before turn 3. It looks like move was done really quickly, and they actually both catching up pretty fast to Matthew Robo on P3. Will that be enough to be a threat for Mercedes driver, or Matti will be able to get P3? And for now, if the race ends like this, I mean, actually, no matter what happens, I believe. Even if Vaporizer will drop down to P9, he will be EU1 champ at this point. Whereas trying to stay with the DRS range on Haas and Mati Robo heading to the pit lane. Will we see Mercedes on softs? Yes, it is. He will be right behind his teammate. So I believe Don Anno won't fight, and we might expect attack for fastest lap. Not Tom Carter is catching up quickly to Hako. It was over 12 seconds on previous lap, now it's 10 and a half. So fresh tires gave him a lot of advantage. Meanwhile, Vaporizer pretty alone over there on P1 with over 15 seconds advantage. It's basically a free pit stop for the McLaren driver. Moria already out of DRS on Haas in front of him, but it's still a closest battle on the track. The field is really spread out, and Boria is losing more and more time with every single corner. Looks like Tom is steps to closing up to Hako. At least he is not closing up that fast as he was. Obviously, that might be an issue of not no DRS in play. On previous lap, it was on 2 laps ago, it was 2 seconds. Now it's only 1 second for lap. So he might be not able to catch up to Hako, but he looks pretty safe if he won't make any mistake. I do believe after this race, especially after mess we seen a couple of laps ago, the stewards will have plenty of work to do. And Vaporizer heading to the pit lane. This will be fresh softs just to get fastest lap of the race. Yes, it is. He will lose a position to Hako, but he will be really, really close behind that Haas. Mati Robo is closing up really fast to Don Anno on P5. And I believe we will see the fastest lap of the race for Mati. No, it's not. Surprisingly, and Vaporizer 1.8 behind Hako, but look at this, only with breaking point to turn 3, 4/10 gain on Haas. And I do believe Vaporizer will overtake leading Haas in few seconds. Yes, it's less than 4/10 at this point, even less than 3/10. A little bit worse exit for the straight, but DRS and split stream is way too powerful for this track, and Vaporizer is back on the lead. and he was starting P13. So last to first challenge for McLaren driver. And look at this, he overtook him in, it was already in sector 3. Now when they are crossing the start finish line, it's over 7 tenths advantage. And Haas won't get DRS on first DRS zone on leader. Meanwhile, Tom Carter is 7.5 seconds behind. Mati managed to pass his teammate. He will gave him a bit of toe and DRS on the straight, but he will be pulling away really fast. I believe not fast enough to catch up Boria. Gökay heading to the pit lane on P9, and it's soft, so another one who will be attempting to grab that extra point for fastest lap. I mean, Gökay was last on this race anyway, so it's one more point for him on the play. Potential one more point, of course. Hako already over 5 seconds behind Vaporizer. So fresh softs advantage over really used mediums is huge. Tom Carter 7 seconds behind his teammate. Vaporizer with fastest lap 32.3.1. So I believe that's more or less the time of pole in EU3 we had. Okay, I have to admit, not a fan of Mercedes team, but with this surrounding, those black cars looks really, really amazing. So let's jump into Gökay. He is safe of being lapped. And will he make an attempt of fastest lap? I mean, for sure he will make an attempt, but if he succeed, that's the question. He has 2 laps to do this. He's pushing all he can, I believe. And in my opinion, having 25 or 26 is not that big difference on the lead, but when you are on P9 and you have potential 3 points instead of 2, that's a big difference. Maturabo less than 3.5 behind Boria, so I believe he won't be able to catch up to Alpine, especially that they are on the last lap of the race. I don't see purple sectors for Red Bull driver, so I guess he might fail to get a fastest lap. He's already out of battery, crossing the finish line, and no, so fastest lap is staying with Vaporizer, who is going final last time through the chicane. Last turn he's weaving a bit, And that's the checkered flag for McLaren driver Hako on P2 is on the main straight. He's completing the race on P2, not Tom Carter. Impressive performance of the reserve for Haas tonight. Boria completing on P4, 2 seconds behind him, Matti on P5. Donano is crossing the line as sixth driver. PW Jones on P7. We're waiting for Kepsi on P8 and Gokai on P9. We have to admit that really unlucky race for those who didn't finish. Bryson, Tom, Fierce Snipes and Ricky. They were just, I mean, not sure about McLaren or Fierce Snipes, but for sure Bryson, Tom and Ricky were victims of collisions of other drivers. So Gökè was able to complete his lap. Vaporizer with driver of the day. I think fully deserved. He was starting from P14, completes the race as a leader with huge advantage on the others. Here we have, oh, apologies. Vaporizer was starting P12. Here we have confirmation of final results. Vaporizer, Hackel, and not Tom Carter on podium. Boria on P4, Matti Robo P5, Don Anno P6, PW Jones P7, Kepsi P8, Gökè on P9, and all the way from P10 to P13 did not finish the race. Apologies, not that stage. Yes, Kepsi, I do agree with that. All the time you have to leave a space. Let me quickly invite those drivers, Hako and Vaporizer. Invitation sent, so we just waiting for them to join us. Will they do? And there is not Tom Carter with us. Good evening, Tom. Congratulations on your podium. Impressive result, especially when we noticed that you were reserving only tonight.
Yeah, well, it was good. I mean, we raced yesterday in EU2 and I had a poor race. I was taken out, but anyway, just came into this one. I wanted to play a bit more smarter, try not to do any drastic moves or anything like that, and just let everyone else race, and I'll just pick my moment and be patient. As did Hako as well. So just great team result. Yeah, all round.
Yeah, I had this week two races in EU3 and EU4, and basically it's a bit like in Monaco. Just wait until other driver crash, and you will get easy points for the race. I have to
Yeah,
say you also were. We can say you were a bit lucky because of fast Red Bulls, Tom and Tom gets collected by other
Yeah.
drivers,
Hmm.
but it doesn't change your great performance. You were catching Hako really
Hmm.
fast, especially on your last stint when you decided to go for a fresh medium compound. To be fair,
Yeah.
I was a bit surprised that you didn't decide it for softs. Can you explain me why?
Well, I knew that Borgia was on hards and was going to the end. I could see on the race director. I had the time to check on the straight. Hako, I didn't intend on pushing towards. You know, if I'd maybe have had the soft, I would have been a bit closer, but I didn't intend to come and overtake him. I wanted him to get to the end of the race as well. So just chose the medium as a tyre that would definitely take me to the end. And, you know, no worries about tyre there. I can just cruise to the end and I still wouldn't have had to worry about overtaking Borgia because he was on the hard tyres. So it was just a safe gamble.
Yeah, and really true team spirit, we might say.
Of course, always.
So thank you, Tom, or
Thank
maybe
you.
not Tom, for joining us tonight. And once more,
Oh,
congratulations of getting that
thank you. Thank
podium
you.
spot. And Hako, good evening, Hako. Congratulations on your P2. Uh, wasn't easy race for you. You were defending as long as you could against Vaporizer, but we have to admit that his pace tonight was insane.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't want to fight with Vaporizer. I just wanted to get to the end of the race. I don't like Vegas, and I didn't expect to be fighting for pole position either. Um, it's quite a shit race, to be honest. So it was just about getting to the end at the end of it.
And to be cautious of other drivers collecting each other, like that happened to Tom at some point. I believe it was Don Anno who was, or yeah, it was, I believe, Don Anno who was just pulled away a bit too late with his braking, and there was a massive incident. I believe Tom, Vaporizer, and a couple of others gets collected and gets were victims of that incident. But you seem to be clean of any incident on the track.
Yeah, I saw both the Red Bulls going for a move into the that uh, corner
Uh,
after the straight. I don't know what corner it is.
uh, you
And I
mean
just
you,
lifted.
you mean the moment when they collected each other, I believe.
Yeah, I knew they were gonna crash, so I just lifted off the throttle and just let them do their own thing. I could see from a while back that they were gonna collect each other because none of them were gonna leave an inch. Um, so it was just about avoiding the carnage after that, and I managed to do so.
Yeah, you managed to do it, and your pace wasn't that bad at all. Still, you managed to get a P2 with some good race on your side. Not Tom was catching you a bit, but as he mentioned before, he decided to not go for the soft compound for the last street to be sure that you will finish, apologies, ahead of him. So that's the really true team spirit for your uh, reserving teammate tonight.
Yeah, he told me that he was just gonna let me stay ahead of him since I'm fighting for P3 in the constructors. No, in the driver standings. So he told me beforehand that he wasn't gonna fight me hard, which I appreciate. Coming from a reserve, he got no reason to just let me past.
Well, I believe with this result, you will be on P3 because Tom did not finish the race and you really closed up to PW Jones, who was with 14 points advantage on you before this race, as I see. So,
Yeah.
mm, with if Tom will be unlucky, because I believe all of us had no doubts that He is insane pace driver. You might be even on play for P2 at the end of the season.
Yeah, I don't know about that because Tom is way too fast.
Yeah, thank you for joining us tonight. Once more, congratulations of taking second podium spot, and let's head up to Vaporizer. Vaporizer, congratulations first of all for winning the race with insane pace, and congratulations of winning the EU1 Drivers' Championship.
Thanks, I'm a champion already?
As I see, yes, your advantage on PW Jones was
Okay.
58 and you extended it a lot. So I believe
Yeah.
he won't be able to catch you up. And
No, I don't think so either then.
Tom did not finish the race. But actually, it doesn't matter that Tom did not finish because we all seen that you were pulling away really fast from him. I have to admit that your pace was really insane. Already, probably you heard that guys who was sharing the podium with you agreed with that. You were just like an alien, especially after starting from P12.
Yeah, I saw the quality times and I was like, I'm not gonna do quality, otherwise it will not be really fun. So I think I was like almost a second quicker than them in quality. So yeah, decided to not do quality and just see where it goes. Stay away
Uh,
from any corners in that one.
okay,
I
sorry,
think
but
I got the lead so quickly.
I was that shocked that I still picking up my mouth out of the ground. 1 second faster. That's insane. You realize that actually it's esport pace for this track.
No, no, it's not. These quarters are still 7 times quicker than me, so I think 6, 7, something like that. They are so rapid around here. I don't know what they're doing, but yeah,
You know, even
I
Max
think
Vers-
you need a lot of skill on this track to.
you you had really clean race, no mistakes, amazing pace, and probably you've seen that interview, but even Max Verstappen admitted that he was driving on the Vegas track in F1 game, and he was banging the walls more than running straight.
Yeah, because it's probably his first lap. If
Yeah,
he gets more laps, he probably won't hit a wall as
lap
often.
is really tricky, especially that quite recently with update they changed the curbs a bit, and now curb on the beginning and at the end of that super long 2 kilometers straight are bumpy. They were flat before the updates, so it was way easier.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, no,
now,
the left hander before the long straight is really hard. That's the only corner I think it's like super hard.
yeah, you have to be
But yeah,
nearly
especially
chirurgic.
without ABS.
You have to be nearly chirurgic precisely because if you hit that inside curb, you will be bumped, and if you go a bit too wide, you will lost a lot of time over there.
Yeah, just need to leave a margin. I think. I think a lot of drivers didn't do that this race, and they got penalized for that. I think a lot of drivers had incidents.
Yes,
Right?
we seen couple of major incidents, especially one
Yeah.
when I believe I seen like 5 cars collected over there, and in lap
Yeah.
1 or 2 there was also like 6 drivers heading to the pit lane, so it was messy a bit. I believe it's the thing that Hako mentioned a
Yeah.
few moments ago. You need to be super cautious and just wait for the other drivers collect each other, and
Yeah.
you're free to go.
You will get a podium. Yeah, that way. I think. The gap from me
It's
to P4 was like 30, 40 seconds. At one point, I don't know exactly. Yeah.
To be fair, I don't remember. Your advantage on
It's
Hacker
pretty big.
is
They were. I
over
just saw them
over
making
over
mistake.
over 10, I
Yeah.
believe, at the end. So P3 was
Yeah.
about 5 seconds
Yeah. It
behind
wasn't that
Hacker.
far. Yeah. Oh, in the
I
end, it
mean,
wasn't that far because I pitted, of course.
you pitted with nearly 16 seconds advantage, and you still managed to make another 10 seconds. So the pace was just superior. Anyway, Vaporizer, once again, congratulations of winning the Vegas Grand Prix. Congratulations uh, of taking the Drivers' Championship of the Contest of Speed. And as I see, Capsy is mentioning on the chat that according to what do you say about your quali pace, that's faster than the upper on time attacks.
Then
Yeah.
what? What did you say?
That Capsy mentioned that your quali pace you mentioned about is faster than Jarno Upper.
Pretty sure it's not though.
I
I think
mean,
they are doing low 30s.
I
I'm
mean,
doing high 30s.
I believe Jarno. I was checking that a couple of days ago. Jarno was somewhere around 30.4, so it's not the big
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah. Okay. Not that big, but
Anyway,
it's still 4 tenths. Yeah.
once again, congratulations for superior win, and see you next week on Hungaroring,
Thanks.
I believe.
Yeah. Thanks for commentating. I think it is. Not sure.
It.
Isn't there a break week somewhere?
Oh yes, it is. It's break.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not.
Yeah,
After that, it's break.
break week is after the
Yeah.
Hungaroring, and then we have two more races, I believe. Uh, or it's otherwise. Never mind. Once again, huge congratulations, and for all who was watching us, thank you for joining us tonight, and see you next time in Hungary, Budapest, on track of Hungaroring. Good night.